Hello and welcome. My name is Klaudia Sikorska and this is Pulse of Culture, bringing you the latest news from the world of art and culture. So, let's begin. The Wroclaw New Horizons Festival is one of the most important film events in Poland. As every year, the program features the most anticipated premieres of the year. The event was opened by Yorgos Lanthimos' film Kinds of Kindness.
You talked to your dad recently?
Why?
This is undoubtedly one of the most anticipated premieres of this year's edition of the festival. Rose Glass's film Love Lies Bleeding takes us to the American countryside, traversed by ambitious bodybuilder Jackie.
We'll just need to fight back. I'm gonna tell them everything you ever did.
The screenplay was written by Weronika Tofilska, known for The Little Reindeer, who hails from Poland and will also be a guest at the festival. As usual, the event's program includes hits from international festivals. After its premiere at Cannes, The Girl with a Needle will debut on Wrocław's cinema screens. Magnus von Horn's new film is inspired by true events from the early 20th century. The main character is played by Caroline, a worker in a Copenhagen factory. Her difficult life situation forces her to seek help from a chance encounter with Dagmar. Their meeting completely changes the fate of both women, binding them together forever.
Har de penge med? Ja.
Polish cinema will be represented by, among others, Minkhun by Jan P. Matuszyński, starring Marcin Dorciński, known for his role in the series The Queen's Gambit. The audience will also be able to see Do I Still Get on Your Nerves, directed by Michał Szcześniak. The movie will have its premiere at the festival.
This story always sounded like this crazy romantic comedy. And what's interesting that is not usually explored is what happens after the romantic comedy, in the happily ever after. What does it look like? And it turns out this is what we actually observe in this film.
Wrocław will see most of the films awarded at the Cannes Film Festival. A total of 285 films will be shown, including 160 Polish premieres. The 24th mBank New Horizons International Film Festival in Wrocław will run until July 28th.
$300 now.
The 75th Dubrovnik Summer Festival is in a full swing. Running until August 25th, the festival will showcase over 60 performances, spanning drama, music, dance, folklore, and more, all set in a variety of scenic locations.
This year's festival opened with the raising of the Libertas flag and the hymn to liberty at St. Blaise's Church. The festival's music program features top Croatian artists, including world-renowned countertenor Max Emanuel Cencic, whose extensive biography includes numerous recordings and several Grammy nominations. The artist has already performed at the festival with the Greek ensemble Latinitas Nostra. Upcoming events include a concert by the Papandopoulou Quartet, a leading Croatian chamber ensemble. The band will perform on August 8th.
publici.
This is an opportunity to enjoy the fact that the world is coming to Dubrovnik and can see and feel all major Dubrovnik establishments. We are going to show what this town can do and how people love it and love the festival.
Smo povećali financiranje nastavi.
The Dubrovnik Summer Festival was founded in 1950 and is one of the oldest and most important cultural festivals in the region. Although the city was almost razed to the ground approximately 30 years ago during the Yugoslav wars, it has now become a top Balkan destination. The Pearl of the Adriatic, as it is often called, attracts an impressive 2 million tourists every year.
The program is attractive to the public and artistically superbly arranged. We see great interest from the audience in both musical and dramatic performances. We have increased the funding and we will continue to increase it.
Following the example of major international classical music festivals, the Dubrovnik Summer Festival has started the World Music and Jazz Concert Series with the aim of audience development, offering unique cultural artistic experiences. As the mayor himself points out,
we can say that we have achieved everything we aimed for in the past years with the Jubilee 75th Dubrovnik Summer Festival.
There is still time to see all the wonders this festival offers and will run until August 25th.
And we continue our journey at the Emigration Museum in Gdynia on the Polish Baltic coast. It is one of the most interesting museums in the country and the only one to document the fates of émigrés starting from 200 years ago to the present day. Deputy Director of the museum, Sebastian Tyrakowski, provides the details. My first question, can you please tell us what the whole idea behind the institution is?
This is the first and the only museum which is dedicated to tell the history of emigration from Poland and Polish lands. We have around 15,000 of collections. All of them are available online. The building is a very well-known place in Gdynia, both for the citizens of Gdynia, but for the people from the entire country who actually left Poland by sea, physically from this place. People physically were boarding famous Polish transatlantic liners like Batory and Stefan Batory using these gates. It's a place full of memory, full of emotions. Thousands and thousands of people left Poland here by sea.
The exhibitions available at the museum tell the story of Poles who emigrated at different times and for various reasons to completely different places. We will learn about their personal stories, experiences, fears, hopes, and the reasons why they decided to leave their homeland.
Here we meet the Sikora family. This is a typical family which at the turn of 19th and 20th century decided to emigrate abroad. It is a very difficult decision off the journey into unknown. So we have the Sikora family members, we have their house, and we see here in their home all the belongings that the typical family used to take with them. We see how different these belongings were to what we now take when we migrate abroad. So for example, they were taking blankets with them, picture of the Holy Mother. They were selling out all their belongings. They had to get what was called a Schiffkarte, which is now a ticket. And throughout this exhibition, we tell various stops of the journey and various means of transport.
They had to pack their belongings, catch the train, and reach one of the European ports to take the transatlantic liner, which would transport them to the other side of the Atlantic.
This is their 5th day of travel. They only traveled 1,100 kilometers. They are now taking the train and traveling to one of the European ports, to Bremen, to take the transatlantic liner. In here, we underline that emigration these days was a very big business. It was not always safe. It was sometimes very dangerous because emigrants were a very easy target for people who wanted to cheat. They were selling fake tickets, they were promising fake locations. So we present the story of a very big emigration industry. But now we are getting on board of the train and we are traveling to Bremen to take the SS LAN, which was a transatlantic liner that used to travel these days.
The ship tickets were extremely expensive, costing the equivalent of 5 good salaries. Some people saved money for years for this journey.
Here at the exhibition, we show the cabin of third-class emigrants which traveled. And this was a very claustrophobic, tiny cabin where people slept on metal beds, very smelly, without a toilet. The journey was about 10 to 14 days long, and it was very dangerous because up to 15% of people, unfortunately, used to die on board of the ship. You can be perfectly healthy at the beginning of the journey and get sick on board of the ship, and then as a result, you could be rejected in America or other destination port. So firstly, at the original port, they had their first initial medical inspection and then a very strict medical inspection at their destination port, which in narration of this exhibition is Ellis Island in New York, where we will go now.
Okay.
The example of the Sikora family proves that a change of life was possible. At the exhibition, we will learn about their late fate as well as the fate of their children who achieved professional and personal success and became American citizens. However, not everyone was able to pull off such a feat.
When they arrived, they saw this incredible city full of skyscrapers, infrastructure, electricity, lights, people that they have never seen before. So this was a complete shock to them, both in terms of architecture, but culture, mass culture, etc. But New York was a very difficult place to live these days for emigrants arriving because they had very little money. So emigrants traveled onwards to other destinations, mainly to Chicago, which is still the biggest destination of Polish diaspora all over the world. They traveled on train carriages like these. And why they traveled to Chicago? Because this was a very popular destination to find a job. Most of the emigrants found a job in these massive slaughterhouses. And the Sikora family, literally after a couple of days when they arrived to Chicago, they found a job and they settled in Chicago and they lived well.
A visit to the Emigration Museum in Gdynia is an incredibly valuable history lesson. Today, more than 20 million Poles and people of Polish descent live outside of Poland. The museum presents emigration in a remarkable way as a social phenomenon that has continued from the 19th century to the present day. It is a history that is happening and being made before our eyes.
So we've reached the end of our tour. Sarah, thank you very much for taking the time.
Thank you very much. It was an honor and a privilege to have you here.
And we invite our viewers to visit the Emigration Museum in Gdynia. That's all we've prepared for today. However, we invite you to the Sculpture Museum in Królikarnia, a branch of the National Museum in Warsaw. The museum is located right behind me, where you can currently see an exhibition of sculptures and drawings by Alina Śleśniska. Please join us on Friday at 2:45 p.m. local time for another episode of Pulse of Culture.